Hi everyone, Shaki here, welcome to my channel. In this video I will show you how I made Triphop remix of Enlia's song The Void. I will describe how I made bass, pads, melodies, how I put vocals in, and how I arranged the whole song. We will also look at the mastering. If you didn't see the first part of the video when I described the setup and drums, here is the link. Let's get started. Let's start with the bass. Bass is coming from analog 4. Let's listen to it first. It's a simple sound, 2 oscillators with a pulse wave, little bit of pulse width modulation, 2 filters with the tracking, and most importantly LFO modulating the filter. The chord progression is quite simple, A minor, E minor, and bass is just following. Let's listen to it together with drums. There is also secondary bass. Secondary bass is played by Moog Minitaur, going through distortion pedal analog drive and back to analog 4 for a little bit of delay and reverb. Let's listen to it. Let's listen together with the first bass. As you can hear, is a little bit of call and response technique here. Let's listen to it together with the drums. Then we have a simple pad coming from analog 4. Again, 2 pulse oscillators with sub-oscillator. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it together with the drums and bass. Generally you want some static element, like this pad, and then some arpeggiated sound. I have the bell here coming from Digitakt. Let's listen. As for the melodies, the main melody part is coming also from analog 4. It is preset called Vangelis, fits really well, just with little bit of adjustment. I actually played the whole melody in the video, you can check it out there. Then I have a second melody coming together with the vocal. Together with this melody I have simple pad sample coming from Octatrack with modulation of the filter. The main melody of the chorus is quite interesting because I merge these 2 sounds actually together playing unisono. Let's have a look. This is the first sound. And this is the second sound. and together. And again in the context of the song. The last sound, the pad, coming from Octatrack is also quite interesting. Let's listen. Originally it was pad sounding like this. But it didn't fit to the song, or I didn't like it there like this. So I pitched it up 1 octave and set LFO to modulate filter and volume. This was better fit for me. Let's listen again in the context of the song. Now let's talk about the vocals. Actually, I didn't do much with the vocals, although they were recorded and processed by Enlia. She used her Rode NT1A and PreSonus audio box for the recording. Obviously EQ compression limiter, and all these nice echoes and swivels and all this kind of movement is done by Space Designer from the Logic. I think it sounds really cool. I love it. I had the dry version at my disposal, but I decided to use this process version because I think it sounds really cool. For me, I have vocals on 2 tracks here on Octatrack. Track 4 was playing the verse and the chorus, and the track number 3 was playing this vocal part with the harmonies. It's very beautiful. I love it. Let's listen to it together. Now let's have a look at the structure of the song and how I organize them in the patterns here. So first part is the intro, just no chord progression, just kind of this static, hypnotic feel. Second pattern is the verse, when I add this secondary bass and kind of song starts evolving. Still, it's kind of like a very minimalistic. The third pattern is the mid part with the melody starting in, and then vocals and melodies together. And pattern number 3 is the chorus. Chord progression of the verse is quite quick, and it goes by F major, D major, G major, A minor, F major, G major, A minor, D minor, and that's it. Now let's talk about mastering and the final processing. The main output from Octatrack goes to Elektron Analog Heat Mark II. When I add the saturation, there is a nice little trick that I use, that there is an envelope follower. Envelope follower monitors incoming signals, and act accordingly with the threshold and attack and release. I assigned drive parameter to this envelope follower. Drive parameter kind of, let's say, controls the amount of the saturation. It means that louder part has less saturation and quieter part has more saturation. As a result, you can actually add much more saturation without hearable distortion without this envelope follower. This is kind of nice little trick that I like here. There's also additional EQ and peak filter, and then obviously I do mastering in the box. I will show you. The pre-master track is the unmastered version, and this is routed to plugins. In the plugins I usually do most of the processing. I don't have much here in this case. I almost always use the glue compressor with like 1:4 ratio, slow attack and fast release. Then I use ozone, equalizer, dynamic EQ, remove some resonant frequencies, and imager, monoing the bass and widening the stereo in the higher frequencies. And then in some cases I use this Celestial MB, something like a harmonic processing and filtering and some little bit of coloring. Then depending if I'm mastering for streaming or not for streaming, I set up a limiter. Here I use very little bit of Pro L with transparent mode and Ozone 9 maximizer with modern setting. I always try which mode works best for which song. And then obviously I measure frequencies in with span and loudness with a Yulin meter. And then I also measure the loudness penalty that I would get for the specific streaming service. That was all from this video. If you don't want to miss out my next videos, please make sure to follow my channel. And in case you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. See you in the next video.